so I don't need to use the
You
mic.
are wonderful, Martha.
No, yes, thank you so much.
So are we live in the studio?
Yeah, we are live in the studio, and we're gonna call this meeting to order, committee meeting today on October 8th, 2025. The time is 5:47. Yes, calling this meeting to order. Need to call a roll. I guess it's just me and you. Secretary. Oh, Miss Martha, do you do that?
Shell Fox,
Here,
Angel Newman.
Here. So we have a quorum and we're gonna start up. Okay, cool. We're gonna move on to item 2.0.
agenda.
Yep, 2.0, approve the agenda, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
motion to approve.
Okay, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda is approved. Moving on to, item 3.1, approval of meeting minutes from 9/17/25. Do I have an approval to,
Motion to approve.
approve consent agenda, sorry.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, yes, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And moving on to item 4.0, policy and planning. We are gonna move to 4.1, the policy diet discussion and working groups. Okay. I just wanted to start off with a recap. I spoke about some of these items at our last meeting. I want to start off by, again, thanking the Council of Great City Schools, in particular AJ and Cindy, for leading us through the policy diet training back in early September. The session helped us clarify the difference between the work that belongs to the board and the work that properly rests with the superintendent's team. It also underscored the real harm that ineffective policy management can cause, especially for students furthest from educational justice, a term AJ introduced that grounds our responsibility. We now have a clear process in place reviewing whether policies are legally required, delegable, and impactful for student outcomes, with legal counsel, the superintendent's team, and the board all playing a role. We'll use a spreadsheet to track our collective evaluation, and Cindy has created a flowchart to make the process even more accessible. Obsolete policies will be archived as legacy items. And again, our objective between now and the end of December 2025 is to review coded sections of policy as we complete the diet exercise. The goal is in the beginning of winter 2026, we'll identify which policies need review or monitoring and set a timeline. Delegation adjustments will also be considered at this stage. And so, yeah, we had a really good meeting. The last time we met, we actually got through quite a bit of the policy sections. I think we got through sections 100 all the way down to 418.
Right.
Which is really cool. We've been rating them using the policy diet template that was provided to us from the Council of Great City Schools, so everyone should have that in front of them now. And so the goal today is just to continue that work, and hopefully we can get through, section 500, maybe through to 600, and we'll just kind of see where the time brings us. Before we get started, are there any questions or even insights from the last time we did this that folks want to raise before we jump back into doing that? No?
Can I get a copy of the diet?
Oh, that's right in front of you, right there, Doctor, when you that
You're
colored
looking
packet.
So is there any, this is no explanation or research or?
So the rubric or the numbers, do you want me to?
Please,
Yeah.
please, thank you.
So the recommendation from the council is to rank each of these policies that are listed on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being the least governance oriented and 10 being the most. And the idea is that we sort of separate the board policies that it must really control from those policies which, unless they're legally required might be delegated to the superintendent, because the council strongly recommends that there not be a sort of panoply of policies that are just 1,000 pages without any meaningful oversight. So it's pressuring us to look at the documents. What we did have last time that I'm not sure we have this time is a mechanism by which we can show the actual policy, the link, because sometimes we were struggling to know what it meant just from the title. And I think Nish, you were pulling them up for us.
Yeah,
We can click them right in the doc.
Yeah, I did before we, about a half hour ago, I think for the folks who were here last time, I resent the digital version of this.
Right.
And there are links to those policies, Dr. Wongi, I can forward that to you.
Is there a way to,
Oh, you just did it?
You got it.
is there a way to display it or?
Yeah, you do.
I
or-
just sent it to you if
Oh,
you
I
didn't have it, if you need a link on top.
That'd be too
That might be a
bad.
lot of work.
Okay, all right.
That's a.
Is there a way to maybe do that so we could, like, Mary Ann and I won't be able to see it, although we could each look on.
Yeah. Maybe
Why don't I look on here and Mary Ann, you can look on there, because sometimes
What are you guys gonna say?
we can read them.
they have it on their phone.
We have it on the phone, we were doing it last time.
They have the capacity, but does that make sense? Can I look at it with you? Do you have the links?
The link to this or the links to the actual policy?
The actual policies?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're also in that doc.
Yeah. I'm gonna just sit closer to you, because sometimes.
If
Yeah.
you open the link I sent in the email,
Oh, yeah,
it will be right there for you.
And the way, thank you, Sarah, for the, overview and recap of what we did last time, and, we just did it as a group.
yeah.
We were like, it just makes more sense to kind of go through each one as a group. And just to reiterate what you said, if it's a 0, that really means it's like superintendent work. If it's a 10, it's like board work, and if stuff's kind of in between, the ratings in the middle.
And then there's a question as to whether it's legally required, which we're gonna answer sometimes simultaneously, but I have a sort of massive cheat sheet of every legal word in the, but I think we're gonna hold on to that until the end and see what we've got.
Yeah. So why don't we start off, is everyone okay to start? I think between myself and Michelle, we can probably read out the overviews of policies if that feels necessary, and then we can decide where they are on the reading. We try to come to some type of consensus with that. So policy 501, assignment of students to schools. Michelle, do you have that pulled up?
Yeah, I do. The student assignment plan is intended to achieve the following 5 goals: implement an assignment process, provide families with greater input into the schools that children will attend, provide students with a greater opportunity to attend neighborhood schools, allow siblings to attend the same schools, allow equal citywide access. This fails superintendent.
What would we say? Would we say that's on a superintendent more towards 0 or school board towards a 10?
So the one piece that I would kind of indicate is that as we're thinking about like PK8 and the structure and the landscape of the schools, I think the school board does have a role to play there, and so I wouldn't say 0.
You'd say it's 0?
I
She said she wouldn't say
Or wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
0?
So
So it's a little more towards the student, towards the superintendent, but not 100%.
Yeah.
like a 2.
Like a 2?
Yeah, like a 2, I would say.
You feel good about it, Susan?
Everyone feel okay with that, a 2? Alright, well, we can move on to the next one then. 502, attendance policy. Actually have that one up. The Providence Public School District seeks to ensure that every student attends school on time every day. It is the purpose of this policy to set guidelines and expectations regarding student attendance. How would we rate this one?
I think that's superintendent work. I mean, it really is.
It's like a 0.
It just sounds so harsh, but I don't know. Paula, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree with that.
The next one, 503, student rights and responsibilities. The purpose of this policy to create a positive learning environment in which students, teachers, administrators, faculty, and families are clear about the rights and responsibilities of students.
So this policy is kind of an odd mix of student discipline and student, it's sort of the counterpoint to the student code of conduct because it articulates the rights of students, which is good. I think it's still within the umbrella of superintendent's work, even though it touches on the code of conduct.
I will say this was done in 2005.
This needs a lot of revision, so if you do keep it, it needs a lot of work.
And it's really perhaps embedded in the student code of conduct or.
I don't even need this policy.
This is all law,
Obsolete then.
it's all law.
Well, they might want to hold on to,
But wouldn't they want to incorporate some of this into like the code of conduct, like, it's almost like that policy.
it's almost a handbook.
Should be, yeah, like I always worry about, should something be a policy or should it be in the school handbook?
Yes.
And it's, this kind of policy, you might want to incorporate pieces of it into your code of conduct, but do we need this policy?
So the ranking just sets us up to put it in the bucket of superintendent or board. I think there's so many of these policies that could either be chucked or incorporated and consolidated. And so that's like the next stage of work is to sort of cut, there's a lot of work ahead. But I think this is a lot of superintendent work. I don't think this is board stuff.
There's no outcomes.
I think this is obsolete.
Oh,
I would caution folks about this policy to be careful about getting rid of this policy. I would do a little research on the history around this policy. It's something that the community itself cares a lot about. And the students, and a lot of students care a lot about it. So just put it out there.
but I think some of the prongs of this are going to be embedded in other policies. For example, there's going to be an anti-harassment policy under Title IX and under Title VI that is going to be specifically focused on that. I agree with you. I think there's going to be some pushback, but the question really is, does this belong in the
It's the superintendent's work.
code of conduct, superintendent's work, or the board?
It's definitely superintendent's
Oh, actually, I'm
work.
sorry.
And eventually, I think it's gonna need to be modified or even moved just to be a part of other things, because it's out of date.
It definitely needs some work. The title of it was important to folks when it came up. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think it's a modified? Because we
I
can
think it
say
needs to be modified.
modified.
I think it needs to be updated.
I think
think also
it'll be
need to be
rewritten by you.
It's like a zero slash
I think it needs
modified.
to be rewritten a lot by you with your
Yeah.
committee and stuff.
Well, I would definitely add students to that. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, this seems to come under your,
I would have a student committee with, intergenerational committee to do it under my office.
but then it's not a school committee policy, I think it's
It's a
more of a
superintendent.
superintendent.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Out of that.
that's where the.
So is it a
comes in.
zero?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
We're just gonna put zero slash modify, so
Yeah,
that
the
way we know
superintendent.
not to like get rid of it
Zero.
without.
Right,
Yeah,
and
I
I
mean,
mean,
modified.
discussion of disability rights, that's gonna go in a completely different place as well. So there's a lot of bits and pieces of this that are gonna be replicated. Okay, school meals.
I don't think
let me just tell you, this is the most controversial thing everywhere.
I think this is board work. I'm kidding.
I was like, I'd love for it, no, maybe not love, that's very strong.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Well, the part that you want isn't in
It's
this
not in
policy.
this, like.
Did you get feedback from the community about food?
We did.
Like trash the lunches?
Yes, we did.
You
We
talked
heard,
about
we
that.
got a lot of feedback from the youth around food.
This is just about the laws.
Yeah.
That's all this is about, that make sure that we're following the laws, that students who are eligible have a way to access their free and reduced lunch.
It's really kind of the wellness, it could be
Yeah.
part of the wellness policy too, which
But
is.
the way it's written, it's not, this is like.
This is like implementation of a program.
It's just all the laws we have to follow, like the household income,
But-
community eligibility.
So is it 0, 10, neither?
This is a 0 for the board.
Absolutely.
All right. A lot of zeros.
The next one, student dress, why can't I read? School uniforms. The Providence School Board intends the use of school uniforms when was this written? 2000.
Didn't you try back then to
Intends the use
to
of
have
school
school
uniforms
uniforms in
in
some schools?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we
I think
tried
it was
that,
before
right?
me.
This is before you guys, right? But I remember, yeah, back in the 2000s.
Lots of school districts have
Tried.
tried and failed.
Yeah,
Because it was voluntary, it was not mandatory,
yeah,
so
So does this spell,
it didn't work out very well.
I think it's obsolete.
yeah.
I think so.
I also
agree.
always caution people to be careful about a school dress code. It can go in a handbook, but
We good to move.
We're on the code of conduct.
Yeah, 506 student code of conduct.
Now, this is one of those funky ones where it is legally required. It isn't clear that it has to be the board. So put a question mark as to whether it's legally required by the board.
Sarah, don't you see most of the code of conducts being in the handbooks?
Yeah, no, I think the question is, I agree. I think the question is, are there any policies which the General Assembly has said that the General Assembly doesn't care about board superintendent? They just say, you have to have a policy on this and this and this. So is this one of those policies that the board must have? And I think it's possible that they may need to.
As written, this one gives specific directions to the superintendent in terms of what the superintendent must do, and then what the superintendent must direct at the school level. It's very, very directive and very clear that this is superintendent work, the way it's written.
Yeah, it's just the statute says, each school committee shall make, maintain, and enforce a student discipline code.
Right.
But we don't implement it. I think the question is who's carrying it out, and it sounds like superintendent.
I think the superintendent carries it out.
Carries
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question. I'm just wondering if this is something that in any way that the board has to adopt. And it isn't typically adopted by the board. So I would just put it down as superintendent work.
I think that question probably is in the legal
Yeah,
review, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm confused because the way that I read it was that the school board has to pass it, put their stamp of approval on it, and then, they're directing the superintendent to
To do.
work.
That's how I understand
That's
it.
how I
But
understand
again,
it.
the school committee does a generic policy where you just say rules and regulations, you don't like list things specifically. And then you leave it to
Yeah.
the superintendent and the building principals and the schools to come up with what that code of conduct is.
Yeah.
See, the way these laws are written, implicit in most of them is that this work can be delegated. So I agree, it can be delegated. There are a few that the board actually absolutely must adopt. So this isn't one of them, and I think we can just put it down as a 0 and then worry about the implementation.
Well, just to give you some background on this is a new policy. I think that we put this through last year because we've had a student code of conduct handbook, but we never had an actual policy. So I was asked to put together a team and we put together a policy. So this is relatively new. So the implementation is actually the student code of conduct itself.
Yeah.
Which needs a lot of revision itself. So
Right.
just wanted to.
And what does this policy do what does it say? That there shall be a student code of conduct?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I still think the board has to have the generic piece, so.
I would
They have
put,
a-
I would put a one
Can you
on.
just, can you describe it?
The only, this, I just wanna, you said it was modified last year?
Yeah,
It wasn't modified, it was literally
Oh,
created
right.
last year, it was created and
Oh,
approved
sorry,
last year.
since you
Before,
read that.
prior to, actually it was prior to the new book.
I'm tripping, no,
Created 2 years
I
ago.
have it pulled up, I thought I had it pulled up on my phone, but I have the next one pulled up, so
Okay.
it says 2014, that's why I was like, oh no, so that's me,
I
sorry.
would say this is 2024.
24,
Okay.
April of twenty
Yeah,
twenty-four.
it says that right there.
Yep.
So what do we say, one with a modified?
Yeah, going with the modified.
To capture the language that Mary was.
Yeah, and again, a very generic, very brief code of conduct by the school committee.
Okay.
And you're directing the
Everything
superintendent to
else
make sure you have rules and regulations
is
for
our-
school.
Requirement to implement.
Okay.
Okay.
The next one, 507, student discipline policy. The board understands that quality public education is a basic right guaranteed to all students. The board's core responsibility is to provide all students with an education that promotes civic responsibility and prepares students for life success through post-secondary and/or career options. That's the first kind of sentences and the purpose of this policy, which was written in 2014.
Yeah.
And maybe the last paragraph of that says the policy ensures that well-defined expectations and well-executed consequences are in place to prevent.
This is sort of overlapping with the prior one in the sense that it's, but
Was it
it's,
supposed to be archived after you did the last one?
I brought that up, but we never got an answer. I think it should be.
It should be
I don't
archived,
think we need this.
so it's obsolete.
yeah.
Alright. And are we thinking of obsolete and archived as the same thing?
Yeah, I know I am.
Okay.
Is everyone else?
Okay.
Archive is, it's still there in the background, but it's,
It's not
Not
happening.
being used.
It's not active.
And what about legacy?
I leave them all the same.
It's the same thing.
Okay, I was like, yeah, they all.
You're maintaining a record of it so that you have a historic record to show
Mhm.
that what you had, but it's not actively
But it-
used.
Right, it wouldn't be in your policy manual that goes online
Got
because
it.
it's archived. In other words, it used to exist, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Okay, so I'm just making a note of that, legacy, obsolete.
I know that's a good call, because we might be using.
Yeah, I'm like, these, they all have different nuances that I'm just unaware of, but that makes sense. Okay, cool.
Mixed policy is also a policy that Dr. Onye has a big part in.
yeah, but I'm actually, we're working on revising this and separating it so that there's, it's student and staff are separate, so just FYI. So it's just in the draft stage, haven't gone anywhere with it.
Are you talking about the anti-harassment policy? Are we on that one?
Student, staff
Students
bullying and
staff
harassment,
bullying,
yes,
okay.
508.
If you look at the policy, it's really mostly students.
Mhm.
There's a couple of sentences there for staff, so we need to do something specific.
You need to have separate policies.
So which
I've
sounds like
already
a
created some
modified.
drafts, I just haven't,
Yeah.
but it's still drafty, I'm gonna just wait a little bit.
Okay.
So this one
Well,
is,
hold on,
this is
superintendent.
statutorily supposed to be adopted by the board.
Right.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, it hasn't gone anywhere
Yeah,
yet,
yeah, yeah.
hasn't gone to cabinet yet, hasn't gone to superintendent, yet that blessing then will come here.
Okay.
And I hope to do that.
Modified, but it is a board policy.
That's like a 10 board policy, or?
I think the question on the table is this a superintendent policy or a board policy? And I think by law, this one's on the board.
I think it should be on, like, it definitely need, school committees have to adopt, like, that's your biggest role as a school committee, is to adopt certain policies. I think that falls under your responsibility.
Mhm.
And then there are implementation pieces that you delegate to us. So it's a high one, like it's 8 or
Yes,
something
I would
like
say
that.
it's 10,
Mm.
maybe a 9.
Should we just say 10?
That's
Ten.
fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just legally required.
Okay, 509 dating / sexual violence policy.
Now, this one says school district shall establish this. This is not legally required to be on the board, so I think that could be pushed down to the
Is
superintendent.
that another one of yours?
Yes.
Yes.
So 0.
Yeah, I would make that a 0.
Okay. 510 service.
Is
animal
this
policy.
one been updated with the instruction piece that has to happen?
I don't think, we
This
did
needs
this,
to be updated.
this one was updated when I first got here, October 2022. So Lisa, you looked at it again.
Oh, maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. The one I have open is 2010.
Oh, well then. They said,
So it's called Students Dating Violence, Sexual Violence Policy, and this is 2010.
this isn't the one I'm thinking of.
So this one needs to be updated.
I think dating and sexual, that should be,
That's, yeah.
you gotta update. You're gonna be busy, Nicole,
Oh, me too. Oh, what am I not?
right? I mean, this is all under her department.
What am I not busy?
So that's a 0, do you wanna, are we,
510?
Yes.
0 with a
With a
modified?
modified.
Sorry. 510? I'm sorry.
509. 510 is the service animal.
Sorry, that's the one on my brain is on, but we're still.
so the
deciding.
dating is a 0 with a modifier?
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, cool.
got it.
510?
Service
animal
animal.
policy.
Service
All
animal.
right, tell me why that is a school committee policy, service animal. We're required to put things in place for service animals, which is a dog or a miniature horse. I had more trouble with the miniature horse piece.
It's 100% superintendent's
Yeah.
work.
No, seriously, a miniature horse. If somebody tomorrow came in and said they have a service animal and it's a miniature horse, we have to make accommodations for that miniature horse.
And that's really all gonna be on the superintendent's plate. So I think it can be a 0.
Yeah, it's a 0.
It's a 0.
Okay.
We gotta wanna talk about horses.
I'm like, well, what kind of desk does it come at?
Like, where was it gonna sit?
Yeah.
They go big.
Can you believe a miniature horse by law can be a service animal? And the rationale is some of your miniature horses are the same, they're the same size as a large dog.
Oh.
So, cause I question that.
Where do you get miniature horses?
I don't know, but should we go find one and see if we can?
I don't know what they look like.
They're cute.
They're expensive.
511? Physical restraining and crisis prevention.
Oh, the Providence School Board believes that positive behavior will.
That's superintendent's
That is definitely superintendent.
We have to do it.
Okay. 512, transgender non-discrimination.
That's supposed to be a board policy by statute or by
In Rhode Island
regulation.
statute, it says we have to have these, just non-discriminate, I think that's what,
It's legally required to be a board.
what.
And
We got
four-
10.
Okay, perfect. 513, pregnant parents and married students' educational rights.
This is superintendent. It's,
I can't even believe you have it written in here as a policy.
It's also old.
it's probably,
How old is this policy?
it's probably
Yeah.
gonna be, it's probably gonna be pulled or consolidated, because it's just,
What we have to do.
and it's also very likely out of date.
Yep.
It is empty,
Yeah.
100%.
Is it board or superintendent?
Superintendent.
Is
But
it
modify?
obsolete?
Superintendent and modify and revise and update and,
It should really be part of other things.
Yes.
It shouldn't be a policy like that.
I can't believe it's a separate policy in your.
it's kind of like whenever somebody had an idea about doing something nice in writing, they wrote it down and made a policy.
Like a resolution?
Like they just sort of like, well, let's protect this group, let's do this. And this is not unusual, this is just sort of a,
Is it that over time they get combined into overarching policies or something?
people don't realize that it sort of duplicates something that already exists. There isn't, it's what AJ said, there isn't a practice, a discipline in school districts in this state, and I don't know about other states, of, periodically looking at the book and saying, how can we clean this up? It happens once in a blue moon. And it's almost bizarre what you see.
It's really cool. Just a big shout out to Dr. Onye, your team, and everyone else who's been involved. We were saying this last time, Dr. Onye, that y'all made it so easy by coding I'm not exactly sure who all was involved, but just like coding all the sections of the policy that does exist. And I know this has been ongoing work.
It started before, I kudos to the people who started before I got here. When I got here, it was in progress. I don't know who had their hands in it, but we just took it over as joined the team. So it's a combined effort, but it's just that it's extraordinarily time consuming. And then remember, everybody has their own responsibilities too. But policy is very important, right? I believe it's very important, it drives everything. And when you don't have the policy, things happen. I think some of this, just from my recollection, is because things happened and then people, the reaction was we need a policy. Because something was happening at the time. But
And nobody has the time to revise. So
Exactly.
you write a policy, add it in, write a policy, add it in. You don't take out the 10 policies that you should be, like,
And you don't-
this is
yes.
wonderful that you guys are doing this
And you don't
stuff,
have
so.
an implementation of it.
Right.
So the other thing is we have a bunch of policies and there's no
Nobody.
implementation.
And sometimes we have policies for things that are just law and are straightforward and you just have to do them.
Yeah.
So you don't need a policy because there's already a law.
Device, should we go on to
Yeah.
device take-home regulations?
Yeah.
Voice and voice superintendent work.
That is
Doesn't need to be
definitely a
modified.
superintendent. Is that about whether you can take your
How you
laptop?
get
how you
home
take it
and how you
home.
take it home and how you have.
Yeah,
Submissions
the purpose
like
of this administrative regulation is to detail the procedures in terms of use for technology devices owned by PPSD, which are loaned to students to support their academic work.
Again, that's
This is
superintendent work.
100% superintendent work.
Any modified areas?
This is even,
The tech.
this is called a regulation, it's not even called a policy.
Well, so we're gonna have to eventually talk about that. Providence has this interesting thing. Where in addition to policies, they have things called regulations, but those regulations aren't regulations from the state. But they name them regulations. I think in other places they're called protocols
Or procedures.
or procedures, but here they're called regulations. So we probably need to have a conversation about
About pulling those out of school, policy manual if they're procedures and protocols. I've been trying to do that in some, have you done that in some of your districts?
I have, yes, but I have studiously avoided the word regulation, and what I like to do is just call it a protocol
And then it's not-
or a procedure, like
But
here's
it's
how.
not in a policy manual, and the
At all.
reason it shouldn't be in a policy manual is obviously it takes all this time to review and revise a policy, whereas if you have a protocol that is not, you can update that all the time, like it could be a procedure, you don't need to come in, like every time we change one of these policies, it's supposed to come in front of the school committee for their adoption, whereas if you have a procedure or a protocol, it's not a policy and we can update that, so that's where we have to distinguish.
And this one's a
Boston
really
does it
excellent
in a
example
very-
of that
I
because
looked at the Boston
Um,
website, they do it in a really
technology
creative
changes so fast. So this is a
way,
really
they
good
call the
example of one
policies
where it
policies,
shouldn't
but
be
then they call
considered.
the rules like this.
Yeah.
Like they call it
Should be modified
superintendent's
then, Ms. Paula?
corner
Yeah.
or superintendent's
So you're
news.
trying to get these notes while we're all talking
I
at
like
the same time.
I like what
No.
Oakland does.
You're
You look
okay.
on their website, they have the
I
policy.
know, but we're all talking at the same
Right on the
time.
website, you don't have to go 50 million places. Right on the website, the policy's there, and then when you, right next to it are the regulations. They use the same language we use. So you see the policy, and then you see how they're actually implemented. It's right
I
there.
love that.
It's really, really cool.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah,
we got that.
Where was Oakland University?
So I think we all agree that device take home is a superintendent,
Yep.
Task.
Procedure.
so that's a 0, right?
Yep.
And yeah, just as a reminder, we are gonna go through a review process. Right now, I think, Sarah, you said this beautifully last time. Right now, we're just sorting. We're just-
making piles.
We're making piles and then we're gonna go through the piles.
Then we're
later.
gonna throw it out.
Yeah, and we're gonna throw some things out, move around, but right now, the goal is to do the review after we sort, so. Shall we move on to 515, Title IX?
This one we really have to have from the board.
Is this been revised? This Title IX,
It
the
doesn't
one
have
that's
a,
here?
it doesn't have a date on it, that's fine.
Yeah, it was, we
Just
one of
redid
the
it,
first
right?
things we did when I came on board.
Yeah. Remember you and I met?
But the most recent
Yeah.
one, did you do,
Yeah, this is the most recent.
okay,
So
after
10
Trump,
shouldn't say 2007.
It
No,
doesn't
I'm
have a
saying
date,
the
that's what
time
I'm
frame.
asking.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, there should be two, I can find an extra there, I think it's
And then, yeah,
23.
because
Did
remember,
you, did you get pushback over the gender identity piece here?
not in Providence.
Not here. No issue whatsoever.
That's great.
Is there any implementation piece for the
I think,
superintendent?
yeah, there's a lot of implementation for the superintendent, but it is a board
It has to be a
policy.
board policy.
Okay, so that's a 10.
But is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we need a date, the
I'll
only thing that we need to do is put dates on it.
Okay. That was 5:15. All right, does that one feel resolved?
That's 10.
10, it needs a date. It needs a date. 5:16, CTE admission policy.
That should be a superintendent job.
Yeah, this is just a process, really.
It's not even a policy, it's a process.
So again,
I
gotta
don't
change
know. Not sure, I need to see it.
What kind of CTE?
Yeah,
Like it has like
it
student
like
essay,
old?
the student will write an essay, and then the middle school guidance
See,
council will
that's a
do this.
procedure, that's not a
Students will
policy.
interview, yeah, it's a total procedure.
Okay,
Okay.
that sounds good.
So that's a 0?
Yep,
Okay.
with a note that it's a process.
Yeah.
5:17, reflection in prayer accommodation policy.
This is
That's 1 year old.
super, but it's
Yeah.
superintendent's work.
Yes.
We have to do an annual report to the state.
So that's a 0.
Okay. 6:01, volunteer policy.
It's superintendent's work. I mean, I'm just throwing that out, obviously, if you disagree, I just can't see volunteer being in the board's ambit.
No, I don't think so at all. 6:02, parent involvement policy.
The only thing I think about this,
And that would be great for me.
it is great, and I wonder if Title I requires some board level declaration of parent involvement. Paula, is there
Yeah,
still a federal requirement
it's still a federal requirement as of right now. And
till next week?
so I
Well,
would say, and I.
No, it's shut down, we can't do anything in the next week.
Oh, that's true, that's true. And
I-
the
and
Department
I
of Ed
would
is
say
going away,
just
so.
because of the values and beliefs that the board is carrying with them from the listening session, I think it would be important for, whether it's this or a version of this, it would be important for you to
So do you put that more like a 8 or a 9?
know. Or even a 5 where we're sharing them.
So let me ask you a question. So you're going through and you're categorizing them as either superintendent or board.
Mhm.
And then you're gonna go back and start revising the policies that need to be looked at. But in other words, every policy is gonna be looked at, and if it needs revision, we're gonna revise it.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna come back in front of the revisions, it's gonna come back in full committee, the full school committee to approve.
Once, there's gonna be some work doing
Right,
the revisions, and then, and I would say that there's the lion's share of the work is gonna be for those policies that are superintendent policies to consolidate, clean out,
Right.
revise, and probably rename them either protocols or regulations, whatever the sentiment is, so that when they get proposed to the board, there's sort of 2 sets of
Right.
documents, the way you described Oakland has, so that the board knows what has been, and then I would assume the board could push back and say, well, we want to elevate what you put in the superintendent's bucket, we want to take that back. That's going to be a little of the conversation. I don't know how charged it'll be, but that could, you could take back some of the stuff that's being proposed as
In this one in particular, if you read toward the bottom, it has specific call out for the school board. The policy should be reviewed by the school board every 3 years. The next review will be May 2027.
So do we want to make that a 5, 6, 8? What's the number that you two think should go?
Sounds like a strong 8 to me.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
8?
I think that sounds good. And just in terms of that question around process, we're still learning from the Council of Great City Schools exactly what process we're gonna need to take, but what we understand is that after we go through and we just do this sort of kind of inventory of like what is superintendent, what is us, then we do the revise process, and then we would also, there's also the legally required, which we're kind of doing,
We're
but
kind of doing, yeah.
at the same time, and then there's also, I think, setting up like a monitoring calendar around specific policies, so we have like a futuristic sort of like accountability and timeline around when do we need to monitor? What's the monitoring? Like,
You need to put a process in place where you're gonna which policies you're monitoring.
Yeah.
Because it becomes it's overwhelming to have to go through all these policies.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, what AJ and the council recommends is that you only own as a board those policies that you can regularly monitor. The stuff that is implemented or delegated to the superintendent, you would have a check-in through the superintendent to see how the implementation is going. But you're not regularly in the mix of seeing how things are happening at that level.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's offloading everything to the superintendent.
It's just, the time restraint, it just becomes overwhelming.
And I don't know, I don't wanna speak for you, Dr. Dillon and Dr. O'Neill, but y'all are already doing it. Right. So I think it's just naming the work that might be, that is already happening.
What's good about this process is you're actually getting, the ones that are obsolete, that kind of lessens the number.
That's
Right.
helpful.
Right.
That's helpful.
It's very helpful.
To get rid of
that
some,
are like
totally,
the process, making them clear that they process,
So
so,
you could change when you
yeah,
need to.
like when the tech changes, we can easily update the process without having to do multiple steps to do that.
Yep.
So that's helpful.
Can I just do a quick time check? It's 6:28. What time do you all have till?
It said 7:30 on my calendar, and I was hoping that was wrong.
I felt like that. Wait, is 7 okay for people? Does that work?
It's certainly fine with me.
Okay, 7's okay? All right, just wanna make sure. I didn't know if
That's
anyone.
another half hour of this fun.
I think it's so much fun.
It's just been a long day, I don't know about anybody else.
All right, let's move. So we're gonna,
The next one's easy because it
Yeah.
specifically says that it's the superintendent's work and the superintendent will provide you an annual report.
well, that's nice.
So
That's 6:03.
That's a zero.
0. Okay, cool. 0. Yeah, we're into the sixes now. Yay. Well, we have been right. 6:04. Use of students in district media.
That's 100% superintendent.
Now, at some point, are we gonna determine that some of these things that we're saying as superintendent are obsolete?
Yes.
We're supposed to be doing.
Well,
that.
We went along the
Is
way.
this one?
I haven't opened it.
This is 2020.
It could be
just the
so
title.
I don't think it's
Pupils.
Pupil.
Can it be 0 with a modifier? Because we gotta modify the title.
This is
This one
6:04.
is use of students in 604.
Use of students in public information materials or the media.
This needs to be, if we have one like this, it needs to be changed already, I can just tell you that.
Mhm. So, a 0 with a modified?
Yeah, I'm not sure this is obsolete though.
Obsolete.
This one I think probably
The
has.
way it's written.
Yeah, I'm just
Well,
saying it
yeah,
needs to be
but
modified.
the topic is not obsolete.
No, modified.
What's it great to know the freedom.
Public's right to know. So this is where the board recites federal and state law in a garbled way.
This is 2002.
Yeah, this,
Oh, wow, that's short. Okay.
can we
It's just
tank this one?
Oh, it's part of the law.
Yeah.
It's
Like we have,
Do
it's
that.
the law,
It's the law and it's not even like all of it. This is the student freedom of information. Yeah, I mean, that's APRA, FOIA.
that's APRA.
It's
Well,
a mess
this-
of
it looks like
It's
they're-
made a mess of
So-
APRA and FOIA, and it looks like a hot mess of a policy.
Is this FERPA?
So obsolete.
I don't think it's FERPA because it's not education.
I don't know what any of them
Sorry.
Oh, this is a different one. This is.
You don't know anything about APRA?
Uh-huh.
No.
APRA.
Say the full thing.
Access
I'm
to
like,
public records.
Yeah,
this
okay,
one-
there we go.
This one says public use of students in public information materials. Are we looking
Not
at this?
even
No,
written.
we're on the next one. We're on school, community, home relations, public
Oh, I
rights.
didn't know, wait.
Well, what did we say about, did we already do 604?
We said
Yeah,
we
okay,
just need
sorry.
some modifications, that's
Okay,
what we
sorry.
said.
Yeah, 0 with modified. We're on 605, public rights to know, freedom of information.
Is that ACRA?
It's like a weird way
It's a
to
weird
look.
opera.
Can you see? It's horrible.
This one can be mixed. I think this one is, first of all,
It's titled wrong.
it's
Yes.
titled wrong, it's called FOIA, and that's the federal law, and then it's just saying we're gonna follow the law, and it's from 1974, it started, this is obsolete.
And I can't see, yeah, we don't need it.
Archive.
All right, 606, Public Information and Communication Plan.
This looks interesting.
Just the title alone tells me we should be getting rid of it.
So the Providence School Board recognizes the community's need for timely, useful, and accurate information from the school department. And is committed to ensuring consistent, ongoing facilitation.
See, that should be in your school committee things where you talk about, putting your agenda online and things like that. So do you already have a policy?
Yeah, there it is.
And they're,
That was it.
well,
This
they're
is what
also,
they're
they're
looking at.
doing like a whole agenda setting,
Yeah, like, I
bylaws.
think that, I think,
This is part of your bylaws, like, not that.
So maybe
That
attend
idea?
bylaws,
Absolutely.
That-
obsolete.
yeah,
This is old.
Obsolete.
but a note that this is part of
The
bylaws.
spirit, the
Okay.
spirit of it, not this.
Yes, okay, spirit. All right.
How about military recruiters?
How is that a policy?
That
of the
is, should
school
not be a
committee?
policy,
That's a
I think,
federal
and that's
law.
also, it's gotta be obsolete.
2021, 21.
Wow, that's not that old. It's only 2021. Nicole, you looking at this one?
The superintendent will ensure all PPSD employees and PPSD contractors comply fully with all applicable rules and laws. It doesn't, it's not even about
This
that.
is about the recruitment.
I was reading straight from the policy.
Mhm.
Did something happen?
Something must
That
have
this, yeah, like.
So this is when military recruiters were coming in and trying to get information about students, and there was pushback because we didn't want to just turn over information about our kids to military recruiters without following the law and obtaining their consent.
Except that under FERPA, anybody can come in and get directory information.
But not this, this is, the military information is is more robust.
But I think there was more to this too. So a lot of high schools would allow colleges and universities to come in and set tables and talk to students. But they wouldn't let the military come in.
Right.
So I think if you look at that, there's some also language in there about treating military recruiters the same way.
I
you
think
treat
you're
your-
absolutely right. There was a lot of tension over how they were gonna come in.
Is
and
this
whether-
written during the Vietnam?
No.
I had nothing to do with this one.
This is the,
I'm
this is
military.
I'm military, I'm
They were
pro-military.
no
This was,
more
this
than-
was
there was
more
nothing going on.
recently, like 2019. It was a big deal in Woonsocket, and,
And we did this in Providence, where we let recruiters come in.
oh,
We
you
didn't let
have to, you have to.
No, I don't know if we did or didn't. I wasn't sure.
But bottom line is,
It's not
I
the
think,
school board.
I think this is a question of law that the superintendent can implement and flesh out.
It's totally.
Are you saying that we have to prevent military from coming in?
No.
No.
Oh, that's what I thought you said.
No, you can't. So there was pushback about letting military come in by schools feeling protective of kids who, because the military, at least according to some lure, was being very aggressive about trying to get the names of kids because they wanted to get them. Some school districts were being not as open to military as the military believed should be the case. And then there's a law that you have to provide information to the military and give parents the right to opt out providing that.
Right, so, but that's a law, so why do we need this policy?
I don't think we do.
And we don't need it, yeah.
I think it's obsolete.
And there's stuff in here that, like you said, directory information, we have to.
It's under FERPA, if
And
some,
it
yeah,
says that we can prevent it and under the law, we can't.
I think we
issue
should-
Directory.
Certainly put this in the superintendent's
Yes.
quiver and maybe obsolete.
yeah, I
I'm not-
can't see why we would have this policy. Nicole, do you agree?
Do I agree with the policy?
No, do what you agree that it's not, that we don't,
Absolutely. I'm just gonna be quiet, but I'm telling you, I know where this came from. A lot of schools would not allow Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, anyone to come in and set a table up, just, not even looking for information, just can we just come in and set a table up so that if kids are interested in the military, they were saying.
And we did this in Providence?
Absolutely, I can tell you that it happened, but I wasn't here when this came up, but I know that's why it came. So there's a line in there that says we have to treat them the way you treat colleges, and that's why that line.
So is this obsolete, or is this something for the superintendent to look at and think about?
I think it's superintendent, but I think there's language in there that we have to really talk about, because some of it's not.
Yeah, I don't know that we would call this is very, obsolete implies, I think, it's really old. This is still a recent topic. I don't know that we should call it obsolete as much as superintendent work.
Yeah,
I would
I
vote,
can't believe, I'm appalled, I just gotta sit here and, as the mother of 2 military sons, I got a real problem handling this right now, right?
The wife of a military officer.
Oh my God.
this was happening,
Right?
a few
I
years
don't
ago.
wanna speculate, but I do wonder if that has to do with the close of a certain presidency and elections.
I'm
it
gonna
was
say-
2006 though.
I thought you said it was 2000 and,
They updated some language in 21.
in 21, I guess that's what I'm wondering, in 21, but did something happen? in
It seems
21?
like something happened in 2006.
When I know how we would write this policy, right?
Well, I just know, because as a principal, I welcomed them in my school, but I'm telling you right now, they were always complaining about how it was up to the principal. So I welcomed anyone that was gonna provide our students with information that might help them. I welcomed, I didn't care where they.
There was pushback,
There
and
was a
that's
lot
why
of
they
pushback,
did this.
yes.
And then but overarching everything is that there's a federal law separate from FERPA that tells school districts, when they distribute the handbook, you have an opt-out for directory information and you have a separate opt-out for military. They're not identical. I think this is the superintendent to figure out how to communicate this to parents in a lawful way.
Okay.
So I would leave it in the mix for the superintendent to figure out.
Okay.
That's,
That sounds okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
is that a zero? Oh, you rewrite it.
0 modified?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
That's a
like.
good idea.
Yeah, I like policies that say, we will follow the law.
That's what this really is.
Why
It should be.
Is the
The
employee
whole
handbook
handbook is in here.
policy?
That is
I know.
completely not
No,
appropriate. for the
And that,
board.
now that is obsolete, that comes out, we
That,
put an
that
employee
should go
handbook.
away.
Which
That whole
Employee
handbook.
Employee
handbook, it's
handbook.
not a policy.
Yeah.
It's also like probably violating labor law. What does it say?
It's their whole policy. I mean, it's their whole handbook.
But when you say employee handbook, is it for what union?
It's just, oh, that's a good question.
That's why it's it technically would apply to non-union employees, but I think it says where it's inconsistent, CBA applies.
I don't know why it's there, I think it doesn't belong
The
there.
rules
How
contained in this handbook apply to all employees of the Providence School Department except where expressly addressed in labor agreements negotiated between the city, Providence School Department, and the Teachers Union, AFT Local 958, Rhode Island Labor's District Council, AFL-CIO Local 1033, and the Rhode Island Council 9.
I don't know that it's obsolete. I mean, there are aspects of it that look pretty current. There's stuff about gender-free transitions. I don't know when it was written, and it probably has a lot of important stuff in it, but
But it's not a policy that should have been.
no, and then it's not even pretending to be a policy. They call it the handbook. So this is just
It's
superintendent.
in the wrong spot.
Just move it 0/move.
Zero
Mhm.
with emphasis.
Yes. All right. We're doing pretty good. Let's move on to
Affirmative
7.
action.
Isn't that a rule?
That's been rendered obsolete by the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Joke. Not funny,
But true,
but true.
unfortunately.
Very.
It is
However,
this
Even though it's been ruled obsolete by the Supreme Court, is it obsolete in Rhode Island?
No,
No,
it isn't.
it's not.
It says the superintendent will ensure that all PPSD personnel and PPSD contractors comply fully with applicable laws, rules, and regulations in all board policies. So in the policy, it's saying that people will adhere to the board policy and the superintendent
it's unnecessary. I don't know if it's obsolete, it's just unnecessary.
It's say, again, it's saying follow the law.
So, do we wanna just put a 0 and then maybe say, unnecessary? Is that a word?
See, I think a lot of these policies, when we look to them, whether it's the superintendent that works on them or the school board that works on them, that we're gonna say are not necessary, you know what I mean?
Redundant to the law.
Or when we stop looking at them, you're gonna be combining pieces of policies.
I think we're just gonna put a 0 and turf this.
What is turf is?
Rip it up.
No, turf, I was like, you take it, like punt it like a soccer ball, just.
So obsolete.
Yeah.
Move, what are we saying?
I'm just gonna put a 0, move, obsolete, punt.
Oh, I like that, I like that.
Turf, what did you say?
I said move, obsolete, punt.
Punt, I like, yeah, punt it.
Punt it. It is hard because it's not saying these things aren't important to us. It's
No.
just saying, but that's where the,
You
you know what I
know, the
mean?
law already existed, so this, we don't need this.
And again, you could have one school committee policy that said the school committee shall follow the law, and then half these policies
Yeah.
are the law, so.
Right, totally. Okay, let's move to 702, drug and alcohol-free workplace. Is that the law? Isn't that the law?
Well, yeah, it is. It is actually.
Is this the 20s?
Isn't it amazing that you have to have a policy that says we can't use drugs and alcohol in schools?
Yeah.
I don't think you have to have a policy that says that, but
I don't, it's,
I don't,
The
This-
only
it's-
question I have, and I'm just gonna put it out there, when we don't, and then we have a problem with an employee who does it, then we get questioned, where is the policy saying that they can't?
they can't drink on school grounds while
Or
they're
they
teaching
can't
kids.
use cell phones when they're teaching kids, like, these questions literally come up. I am just saying.
No, I know, you're right, you're absolutely right, Paula, I agree with what we deal with in staff. Where's the policy that says you can't? It's like,
I mean, could this be moved into the employee handbook? I think it could. But I think
I don't think this is a board decision in any event. It's really the superintendent's management of staff.
but you're right, I think it belongs in like a
handbook.
handbook.
So 0 move, 0 move,
Yeah, the 0 punt.
Yeah. Somebody's getting tired.
Is this not? I know, is this the type of 702, is that the one that would like prohibit like people smoking on school grounds, like outside?
No, that's
and
a
stuff?
drug and alcohol.
There
That
is a
means you
whole,
can't drink, you can't bring alcohol. If you're a staff member, it should be common sense, but you can't bring alcohol into the school.
even though, things are legal, or sometimes they're not legal, you can't do them on school grounds or in near a school.
Mhm.
I mean,
Especially
some
if you're
things
an
are
employee.
obvious, like heroin.
I meant like cigarettes, does that cover
No,
cigarettes?
this does not cover
There
cigarettes.
does need to be a
But-
different one.
Okay.
You know, marijuana, cannabis is a little complicated these days because.
Well, because we do have
Medical.
prescriptions and medical.
But that's even different, but could a person, this actually came up in a district where a teacher brought cannabis cookies onto school property. And it is still illegal under federal law to possess marijuana. And schools are also,
But see, again, alcohol is legal, but
I
you
know.
can't, so it's the
It's
same.
intoxicant.
Right, you can't bring alcohol on school. You
I
can't-
think it's something that should be in the superintendent's
We
bailiwick, and it may be necessary to say that explicitly in a handbook. I think you're right.
All right, so 0/move?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's,
Social media forms,
Yeah. that sounds like a
Nicole,
0.
you might have some background on this one, is this something you were a part of?
Nope.
Nope.
Did you write this one? What does it say?
Let's see, social media for employees.
Now,
What year is this? 21.
21.
Was urge his district employees to support the goal
through educational programs and activities.
Now, do I think that we need some kind of rules and regulations regarding social media?
Yes.
For employees, absolutely yes.
This is
See
also
more
an
and more every day.
employee handbook, kind of
Yeah,
employee
this
management.
This should go into that.
It's an HR policy.
But we definitely have to have it in a handbook, because as
Yeah.
Dr. Dillon said, we're going to, in some way, discipline an employee. If it, where do you have this written? Where do you have this written? I can't go on social media and say, you know.
100%.
And the same would be for flexible work schedule, that's also.
That's not a school committee policy.
It's an HR, this is all HR stuff.
Employee ethics, fraternization, zero rule.
Nepotism?
That
Look at
happens.
the nepotism policy and fraternization.
I think that's also HR related.
That's a real Rhode Island thing.
Nepotism.
The whole thing.
Okay, so zero move.
Professional conduct with students, that's kind of a anti-grooming policy.
It's a
We're
very
saying
important.
You
that
can't have sex with a
policy a
student in your
lot.
school, it's,
No, it's the grooming, it's the prelude.
But
to
it's
the-
also-
Anywhere, not within your school.
You can't
Like,
take them out for
the
lunch.
latest news,
You can't.
Oh,
Pontiac, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think that's really still superintendent work.
So keep it as a policy.
And again, it's common sense, it's, you know,
Yeah,
like
I mean, I
needs
think
to
it
go
may
into
be-
the handbook so that we have teeth. when-
something that says you cannot have sexual relations with a student.
Or you can't take them out for lunch and drive them home and.
Yeah, this is like trying to prevent
It's
it
the
getting
See,
grooming.
can I tell you something? We used to be able to do that when I taught. Not take them to lunch, but if they missed a ride, take them home. It was not only was it acceptable, it was, you have an after-school activity and nobody
Yeah.
shows
You
up,
have to.
you say, I'll drive the kid home.
But there's
But
been
now you can't do
some,
those things.
some abuses. There was even a First Circuit case very, very recently where a principal in a school district in northern Massachusetts, or north of Boston, I mean, it just completely crossed the line repeatedly.
But it was more than just driving the child.
It was,
Yeah. Yeah.
but nothing was sexual. It was all like getting involved in the students' mental health visits, giving the student money to, it was really.
Emotional and
It was grooming.
Yeah.
It was grooming and
creating a dependency
it
on
was,
the
it
adult.
was, and it made her, it was really bad. I mean, it was surprising to me that it was so current, like within the past year.
It's also a way to actually protect staff too, though, because
Yeah.
you could be giving someone a ride because you're trying to be nice, but
Right.
someone could say something against you,
Right.
and then there's no one there
And
to
again,
witness it.
things that we could get away with,
Mhm.
that not get away with, were acceptable 20 years ago, isn't anymore.
Right.
Yep.
But this is still superintendent.
Yeah, a
uh,
lot of these seem like the HR handbook
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
things in this area.
Same with workplace gender
Zero.
transition and parental leave.
Oh, that's definitely not that is definitely in
It's all
HR.
All right. How about 709, child abuse and neglect prevention?
I think you're required to have this as a school board, am I?
That one I would put in the board.
I agree with you, Paula. The purpose
just
of
look
this
and see.
regulation is to establish PTSD standards, procedures, and guidelines with regard to reporting. Yeah, we're mandated reporters, everyone's on
Right.
island, so
Yes.
that's a law.
I think I would have a policy to protect
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes.
As a board.
As a,
Mm-hmm.
as a school board.
Yes,
Thank you.
So 10.
So is that a
or
10?
9?
yes, I would say 10.
Adverse weather.
All right, this is definitely not school board, because that's the call of the superintendent. All
Okay, I know why this happened. I know why, you said something happened?
right, so what happened?
It was the storm when the buses got stuck.
Do you remember?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, it's
My youngest one was in elementary school,
and they got stuck on a bus
and
when,
Johnny Evans was the superintendent. Do you remember this?
Yep.
And the storm started, and everybody was very relaxed, and the storm kind of went crazy, and kids were stranded all over the place.
And he went home.
Coming home at
He went
10.
home. He went home.
Well, Donnie went home.
Yes, that's what I meant. He went home.
And the
You
kids,
got it? Do you remember that?
I do remember hearing that.
and
I
the
was
kids,
six,
and the
but-
kids were coming in at 10, 11 o'clock. Some of them didn't have their insulin. And it was a very bad day.
But it's also, calling schools is a superintendent's responsibility. And I can tell you, you can never win, no matter what you call. You're
Well, this one was a big
Oh,
boo-boo.
isn't that led to his
Yes.
demise, didn't it? Yes.
No, he did not die. He just
Demise.
he went to a sunny place. I
He was
think.
from Florida.
He came from,
Yeah.
I think
he's in New Jersey.
I didn't
he
say- I
went to
said
New
data
Jersey.
point is-
Yeah.
Make sure you get
It wasn't that sunny, you're right. He came from,
crazy.
and that was the reason, like, we all felt that, he was a nice guy, and I think we all understood that he didn't fully get what was happening because he was used to Florida weather, and so when it started to snow, he thought, oh, I'll just go home.
All right, we got 2 more 700s to get.
We can get through, I think
What
just
do
one
we
more.
say?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, what do we
7-Eleven.
say? 7-Eleven, 0, 5, 5,
Nope,
yeah.
0.
The last bus.
We're gonna call it the Donnie.
The poor Johnny Evans story.
Donnie demise.
Donnie's demise. Requirements for reporting employee arrests, I think that's gotta be board policy.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
I know.
Oh, wait a minute.
You wouldn't know.
Requirements for reporting employee arrest. Who's reporting the arrest?
Well, HR
Yeah.
reports it.
Is it the employees, like, how, I don't.
Oh, I didn't read it. Let me look.
Yeah.
That's a 0,
It says
and
it
it
starts
belongs
with
with
the
HR.
Yeah,
So we hit 800.
yeah.
I think we're in a good.
And well,
It's the, they're saying that if you get arrested, you have to notify HR and then HR has to notify.
That's an HR policy.
So 0 move?
Yeah, it's HR.
0.
all right, that's a lot. A lot of punting to the superintendent.
Yes.
The wellness policy, this one is your policy. This one's required by the state.
Are we continuing past
Or are we
800?
done? Are we done at 700? Are we
This
done?
one's an easy one,
Okay.
10,
Oh, because that's
The wellness
required.
one,
Yeah.
is quick.
That's a 10.
that's a 10, it's an easy one, let's get it done.
I mean, there's only a few 800s, you guys just wanna finish the 800?
I love the next one.
Tobacco is
You were
HR.
asking about this one.
I was an anti-tobacco.
Well, it's
advocate.
HR because it's also kids.
Oh.
Huh?
But it's either, it's both kids and
It's-
adults,
It's HR and
It's-
student handbook.
and
right?
it's superintendent.
Yeah, definitely superintendent.
Does it have to, probably does it include vapes? Is it, does it have
It's
to be
not
rewritten?
updated, it needs to be updated doing
All
food
this
based.
work.
So modify, and what number?
That's 802.
HIV,
No, what-
hepatitis, that's
What's the
superintendent.
scale?
That's,
Oh,
can you imagine when those were written
Zero.
years ago, remember?
0 mod. Okay.
Oh, this used to be a big
HIV
thing.
is, I think, all
We're
health
still
is in the
required-
hands of the,
Right, we still have to
We're
do,
still required to teach about HIV.
Yep.
but it's not a policy, so it's a 0, right?
With the punt,
what is
It
it?
is a,
Is it a school committee policy or is it?
it doesn't look like it's written like a
it's
policy.
not a school committee policy, but
Oh.
it is RI, it is general law.
Yep.
It would be the same as like BEP requirement, where would that land?
Follow the law. See, if I were rewriting this policy, I'd like to be very,
It's definitely superintendent work,
Yeah.
not your work.
yeah,
On my list, I see that we have to have a policy on diabetes care management.
Yep, that's a new one. There's also one on, we have to have a policy on
In the process.
naproxen. But I don't see that anywhere here. It's missing.
So there might be a few things missing
Missing,
from this
yeah.
list.
Can you jot down diabetes and naproxen?
Yes, diabetes.
Also, is Narcan in there?
That's what I was talking about.
Narcan.
I renamed it naproxen, I don't know.
Naproxen
Oh,
is,
okay.
I think the Naproxen should actually already be named in there. But definitely Narcan is probably not there.
Okay. That sounds good. So we, said that 803 was 0, but does it need to be somewhere else?
So we're required as a school district to teach about HIV, that's part, this is a BEP thing.
Right, so I don't, it's superintendent.
But this one is talking about alerting people if a staff and court, student is.
That completely needs to be changed.
Right, because that's what
right.
this is saying,
That
yeah.
is
But
a
the one that,
violation.
the one that we are needing to do would be superintendent work.
Which one are you on
So
now?
it needs to be
HIV.
modified.
Okay.
Is that what we're saying? Zero
Modified and 0 for you.
Okay. 804, administering medications.
That's superintendent really under
That's
school
what
health
goes on the
regulations.
Except, does it have to be modified? Do we have
Yeah, it's
really old? I mean, even I think in here we have to put the medical, medical marijuana and things
Yeah.
like that.
And they have two different ones, one legal and one local.
So like, I thought it was gonna be legal and illegal.
So, what is legal, what's the difference between legal and local?
Something probably should have been,
This one should just be
obsolete.
the second one. It's more of a handbook thing.
Hidden communication.
The local one is obsolete?
Oh, yeah. Look at it, it doesn't make sense to even have it.
I don't even know why, how it's different from the,
That's why we're just gonna get rid of it.
Do we bring it back up?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what would you say about pandemic medication?
We passed pandemic mitigation in 2022. That's weird.
After the pandemic.
After, yeah.
So if we have another pandemic in 10 years, we'll have a policy.
Yeah, it does
If it
feel like,
is
you never know what's gonna.
But that would mean that the pandemic required masking and social
What if it's something
distancing.
else,
It
right?
could be something else. This one seems super specific.
It is mandatory.
this is really
I
about,
think I would archive
this
this.
is just a COVID policy.
Yes.
What it is.
Yeah, because see, it's just about,
It's just about COVID.
so are we
Yeah,
archiving
we're
it?
gonna archive that one.
And then 807, suicide prevention.
Okay, isn't that required after the Nathan Bruno?
It is, it's Nathan
Yes.
Bruno Act requirement.
That's required by school committee. I think that's definitely
Is it
required.
required by the school committee
I
then?
think so, because of the whole General
Nathan
Assembly,
Bruno,
Nathan
yeah.
Bruno Act,
I believe you're right.
Yeah, I think it's.
So 10,
10.
and it just was done in.
It was just.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that brings
That's a
us
good
right to
place.
6:59.
We're done, we finished 800s.
Wow.
Wow.
And all of this stuff, under a lot of that is gonna be operations.
Custodial service?
It's all buildings, custodial services, food, that's all,
Also 0.
I think all 900
Did a good job, guys.
Yeah.
except
good job.
facilities
Really
and
good.
community
A lot of stuff.
engagement might be, that might be a,
And
That might
school
be a little-
closings, that's.
that one
Yes,
is,
that's
that one
definitely-
is gonna be,
Well,
different.
wait,
Yeah.
we got a lot to talk about.
So why don't we, thank you all so, I know it's not custom in board meetings, but say snap it up to yourselves, snap it up, snap it up. have
Nice
some fun.
job.
All right, good stuff. We can do it. We get our own handshake. So why don't we, we're gonna move to 4.2, report out. That was a really good workshop, y'all. I think we'll continue at our next meeting, with the, initial rating system. And hopefully we can get through that. Yeah,
at the next meeting for sure.
I think we can, yeah, so that's really good. So we're gonna move to, 5.0 adjourn. Do I have a motion 5.1 to adjourn? Second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, thank you all so much.
This was great.
I want to be at a meeting some night where somebody says motion to adjourn and it gets voted down.
Yes, I know. No, we wanna stay.
At the next meeting, can we have coffee?
Yeah, we're gonna need it, huh? It's only gonna get colder and darker.
Wine. Wine?
Thank you, Ms. Martha.
You know, it isn't really a school, so I guess we could have wine, right?
That's technically, you're right.
Yeah,
You're a lawyer, I'm
technically.
gonna go with you.
I'm gonna do it.
I need it.